is SCAC Baseball Media Days, and joining us today is the Centenary College Gents, head coach Mike Diaz and senior pitcher Leighton Tromba. And gentlemen, first of all, we thank you so much for taking the time out to join us and discuss the 2015 season.
Thanks for having us, James.
Thanks.
Coach, let me start with you and just simply ask, what are your expectations going into the 2015 season?
I think expectations are tough to talk about. We're still going to be young this year, mostly freshman, sophomore oriented. So we just want our guys to go out and compete. I think that's the thing we've been stressing most. Go out, compete, play all nine, and at the end of the season, I guess we'll figure out where we stack up.
Leighton, let me ask you, throughout the preseason, even going back maybe to the fall ball and going into January so far through practices and such, what's some things that you've seen from this team that you really like?
Well, I really like the spirit of our team. We've done a couple different things this year, such as getting in different dugouts when we have inter-squads. There's been a lot more communication on the field, I feel like, this year so far. I feel like everyone's really excited about the season. We've got a really good group of guys that really enjoy being around each other, so I think that's going to be a huge plus for us.
Coach, I want to ask you the same question as well, just from a coaching perspective. What have you seen from this team from fall ball through preseason?
Yeah, I like to touch on exactly what Leighton says. I think that's a tribute to him being a senior and being around this program. But that's what we stress is are you going to go out and compete? Are you going to play hard? Are you going to learn the system? And I'll tell you what, I've been really happy with how this team goes about it. I think they got a really good mindset. That's obviously a tribute to the seniors we have and the leadership, guys like Leighton, some other guys we have. So I've just been more or less looking at that. How are these guys going to go out and compete?
Leighton, you guys open up next weekend. Just simply tell me just the excitement level to get a new season started, get rolling again, especially with it being your senior season as well.
I'm so excited. I've been thinking about it for a while now. I can't wait. Just being here, this is my third year here. I love it here. I love the guys that we have here, the coaches, and I'm just ready to get on the field against another team finally and see where we're at. I think we've really got a really solid baseball team. There's a lot of things we can do to execute our game plan.
Coach, coming back to you as you go through the roster, as you mentioned, there are some younger pieces on this team, but you do have a strong group of seniors as well, including Leighton. Just tell me how important these seniors are going to be to this team's success.
Yeah, the seniors are always going to be important. I think they've been here for 3 or 4 years. And if they're here, it means you liked them, you kept them around, and they're a part of the program. So really the seniors are the guys that are setting the tone, the mindset, and really creating kind of the team identity. And so they're important. The question's a little misleading because I think we have 11 or 12 seniors, and, they do the things I just said, but at the same time, I don't think all of them are going to be on the mound throwing at the end of the game or necessarily driving in runs. So, that'll be individual of the senior, but as far as the class, you've got to have guys that are extension of the coaching staff and driving the bus.
Leighton, as a senior on this team, just tell me from your perspective just how important it is, especially from a leadership role, it is for you.
Well, it's huge. I mean, the younger guys, they come here, they've got to have some people to look up to, some voices that aren't the coaches, that are leading the way, that are saying the same thing that the coaches are saying. So I think it's huge, and I've really tried to do a better job of that. I know I can do better, but I really feel like as a unit, as a senior staff, we've done a good job this fall leading into the spring, and we still got work to do. But I like where we're headed, and I like the guys we have. Everyone's really bought in, and I mean, at the end of the day, that you got to buy into what we're trying to do, which is win.
This is SCAC Baseball Media Days. We're here with the Centenary College Gents, head coach Mike Diaz and senior pitcher Leighton Tromba. And Coach, let's break down the team a little bit. Let's start with your pitchers and catchers. Obviously, Leighton, a big part of that pitching staff. What are some things you've seen from those group of players? Any certain players that have stood out to you or will be key impact players throughout the season?
I mean, everybody's going to be key. You're going to lose, use 6 or 7 guys on the weekend, and you got to have guys midweek. But at the end of the day, one of our struggles last year was on the mound. We got to be more consistent. Got to close out games. We got to get better performances. So if you are looking at the pitching staff, if they were what they were last year, we're not going to make any improvements. So they got to be better.
Leighton, I want to ask you, as a pitcher on this team, working with this group day in and day out, just from your perspective, what are you seeing with this group? You know, working with them, and what the pitchers and the catchers are looking like.
Well, I like our staff. I mean, we're returning most everyone that we had last year, and we've got a couple new guys that have got some real potential to be big for us this year. As far as catchers go, we've got 2 new catchers, and I'm really excited about those guys. Chris Zapata is probably going to be our starting catcher to start out the season, and he's a real positive vibe out on the field. He's real loud. He encourages all the time, and that's something you've got to have from the catching position. Plus, knowing as a pitcher that he's got your back, that he's got a great arm so he can throw people out, just all those things like that help contribute to the staff, and it's a tribute to those catchers and what they've tried to come in and do. So I'm really excited. We've got a ton of talent. At the end of the day, we've got to go out there, compete, and throw first pitch strikes, get ahead of hitters, and then I think if we do that, we'll be just fine.
Coach, let's move into the infield. Tell me a little bit about this group of players and what you've seen from this group.
Was that for me or Leighton?
For Coach.
Yeah, the infield, honestly, we're just going off of what we were last year. I think that's got to be your point of emphasis going into your recruiting class this summer and the fall. And so we've got to improve in the infield. So we had some couple all-conference guys that were in our infield when you're talking about catching and actual infield positions. Those guys are no longer there. Got some other guys coming in, and we got to pick it up a lot better than we did last year to be what we want to be. So, you know, we like the guys. They got to get better, got to get some experience, and play a lot better than they did last year.
And Coach, I'll stay with you. Let's move into the outfield. Tell me a little bit about this group.
Yeah, we got one guy coming back, Chris Sebastian. He'll be out there. We'll have 2 new guys. And, defensively, they got to get a little bit better in the outfield. They swing it a little bit. And 2 guys are kind of pushing those 3 guys. So I think we're going about 5 deep in the outfield. And probably at the end of the day, it's going to come down who's going to swing it the best out there. They're kind of all regular, average outfielders.
The Centenary Gents will open up on Friday, February 6th in San Antonio, Texas. They'll start at 11 a.m. against UT Tyler and follow that up with a 7 p.m. contest against George Fox. This has been SCAC Baseball Media Days. We wrapped it up today with the Centenary College Gents, head coach Mike Diaz and senior pitcher Leighton Tromba. Again, gentlemen, we appreciate your time this afternoon, and we wish you and the rest of the team good luck in 2015.